the beginning of the project, our concern was, is there a wheel out there that can actually support the weight of the car and the tire that would support the speed of the car? And we started to do a little research, and we looked into airplane tires, and because obviously you know that if you have a jet landing at the airport, tons and tons of weight land on those tires and wheels. And so we talked to people who were basically very well informed about tires, and they gave us a good insight as to why you can use certain kind of tires and the speed and the loads and things of that nature. And some of the people that I've talked to actually got some information from. I didn't actually speak to them directly. It's a family called the Berklands, and they've had cars to run well over 450 miles an hour. And those are the people you want to talk to in reference to tires. And they have developed a machine that actually spins the tires and the speeds that they have. And they talked about what you were able to do and with those tires, and they gave us a good insight as to what to purchase. And what we did in our case is that there's a company that manufactures tires here in the United States, and the brand name is Mickey Thompson, a former land speed racer. He's no longer with us, however, but the company still exists, and they do build tires for this type of an event. And we were fortunate enough to acquire a couple of sets of these tires, and then I also acquired a set of tires that were made in England, and they were made by the company called Dunlop. And there are also land speed tires that we use, but each tire is rated at a certain speed. And in our licensing tests, you don't put the best on, but you put those tires on that will get you to the level of licensing that you're looking for, because, as I said, tires are very hard to come by, and along with the wheels that they are mounted on. And in my case, I had two styles of wheels on the car, and one was manufactured by a local company, and they're aluminum wheels is what they are, and they're special sizes to meet the requirements of the tires, which was very important in what we were trying to do.
And how many runs can you make on a set of tires?
It all depends upon the condition of the tire. If you don't spin the tire and tear the rubber off of the tire, then your tires are able to be run. And I have friends who have run tires for several years, the same tire, and they're good for what they are, and but they're designed specifically for land speed racing only. And they've offered to lend me the tires, but I prefer the tires that I have acquired to run them as the ones that I buy. But you can look at a tire that's been damaged, and you can see that the cord is showing through, and it's only made just few layers of material on there, and it's time to discard them and use them as just a display tire, basically. And that's how we've basically moved forward with the tires. I have several sets that I can use for display now. So logistics is the big thing, because you're almost like a gypsy when you travel. You have to take everything from home and take it with you, and it all has to be in that trailer, because what you're doing is you're setting up at the land speed location, which is Bonneville Salt Flats. Home away from home is what it is. That you set up a complete camp, and it has canopies. It has
all self-contained.
Everything is self-contained. You have your own water. You have we've even when we put up our canopies, we tie them together and we weight them down in case because weather does come through there at Bonneville. We've had winds up to 65 miles an hour come through there just for a period of a day, and everything has to be tied down. Cars have to be covered up and all of that, but the trailers are pretty much, they have a generator in them and for lights, and they have air compressor for the air you need to run your tools and cleaning parts and what have you. And the most important thing is that nothing can be left on the salt and nothing can be put on the ground. You have to put ground covering before you can even put the car. You could put the car on top of a ground cover. You cannot have anything that drips onto the salt. They won't allow any of that. And so it's a pretty well-maintained facility.
Do you carry an extra engine?
Some racers do. We have parts to build part of an engine, and we have miscellaneous components for that point. But we, at this point, we're actually building a brand new engine, and then the parts that we had for our licensing motor, basically we're going to take those parts, whichever are usable again, and build a second motor is what we're going to be doing in that. But the trailer itself, it has to be as sound as anything, and it has to have, like I say, provisions to clean the car, roll the car in it, to store all your parts. It has to have workbenches. It has to have toolboxes and tools that you take everything. You're taking a complete garage that you'd find at the local gas station. You're taking it all with you in one trailer. That's pretty much how you have to travel, and we've been fortunate enough. In our case, some trailers come there that are open trailers. In our case, we acquired a vintage trailer, and it's all enclosed, and so that, and of course, you got to make sure the tires are good and the brakes are good and all that, and it attaches to the vehicle you take it with, and it's quite a distance to go, but it's worth every minute of it. It's a place that it's Mecca for the land speed racers when you go to Bonneville Salt Flats, is all I can tell you.
So Speed Week takes place in the month of August. Is there anything else up and coming that we may be able to just go and enjoy taking in the race cars?
Well, I'm going to say to you that the first event for this type of a car is the El Mirage Dry Lakes, and it starts in May, and it's a 2-day event, and it'll get your car a little dusty when you go there, but the result is that you'll see things that you haven't seen, and basically there's all types of vehicles, motorcycles, and various competitors and various type of vehicles. I've seen motorcycles with a third sidecar, and I've seen cars that are there that are very small displacement engines, and cars with multiple engines in them. So it's a whole variety of things that you're able to see there.
And the big difference at El Mirage, besides just the terrain, is that it's just a shorter track, right?
Yes, the length of course that you run at El Mirage Dry Lake is 1.33 miles, and that is probably the distance that you want to run there. And but a lot more people go there from Southern California. And it's, like I say, the first event of the year is a 2-day event, which is something that it's worthwhile going to if you want to go.